Hey everybody, welcome to episode 100. We're live. It's crazy. There's 100 episodes of these damn things. How are you guys still here? We wonder. It's me, Tyler Woltoff, joined with Kyle Wakeling. What's up, Kyle?
Not too much, Tyler. How's it going?
You know, I'm really excited. Because Liam's also here.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how excited?
I don't think it can go high enough, Kyle.
There is no number high enough. I can understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, as I said a second ago, Liam's here too. What's up, Liam?
Woo! Hey guys.
It's been so long.
Yeah, it has, and I'm happy to be back for episode 100. I'm so glad that you guys have finally gotten to this step. I know you've been wanting this for so long, so it's awesome.
Oh yeah, it's still crazy to think. Like just looking at that number 100 right there, it's so weird, but also so exciting. So exciting.
And we didn't talk about it, last week's podcast, but we just passed our 2-year anniversary as well. We started on October 23rd, 2013. So
that's crazy.
That's some crazy stuff.
You gotta love it.
You do.
Well, you know, we normally go into the what we've been playing and stuff, but I kind of wanted to jump into how we feel about this entire thing. So I kind of mentioned how I felt about it, but Kyle, you're an original co-founder, obviously, of this. So how do you feel? 100.
It's kind of surreal. I didn't think, going into this that we would necessarily even reach 100 episodes, that there would be enough, people listening and Vita stuff going on to get to 100. So just being here is kind of surreal. And then the fact that this is kind of like my first adventure of any kind of like this, it's definitely special, and it's something I'm going to remember for a long time.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, that's good. Liam, you've been on a few episodes. You haven't been here from the beginning, but I mean, what does this mean to you?
I mean, I started off as a listener back when episode 1 first came out, so to be part of episode 100 as from a once upon a time fan perspective, it's amazing to me. I'm so glad that people who just write about a little handheld that doesn't really have much of a fan base, or it isn't cared about by its owners much. By that I mean Sony. For us to be here at episode 100 is just crazy.
Yeah. Well, we're glad to have you here, Liam. We always enjoy you on the podcast. Well, all right, we've got a few people joining in here, so hello, guys. Thank you guys for joining us on episode 100, our live-streamed episode. We'd never do this live, so we might be a little awkward about it, but hey, we're going to get through this, right, Kyle? Right, Liam?
Hell yeah.
I'm going to get through this. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah. Well, meh. Anyways, now let's jump into what we've been playing. Liam told us earlier before we started recording and going live that we were gonna have to hear a lot from him, so that's exciting. So Liam, what have you been playing?
Well, I believe the last time I was on a podcast, I spoke about Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc and how I was really getting into that. Well, I finished it. Woo! And it was absolutely amazing. One of the best experiences I've had on Vita now that I can reflect on it properly. I haven't started the sequel yet, but it's definitely on my list of things to do. I also finally bought Terraria. I haven't had much of a chance to play with that because my schedule's been so hectic with reviews and stuff lately. I also gave Hatoful Boyfriend a look now that I'm into visual novels. I quite like the idea of Hatoful Boyfriend. It's very, very strange.
Yeah.
I get a good laugh out of the idea that it's a dating simulator with birds.
Yeah. Things. It's weird.
Yeah. And then also there was 3 Japanese visual novels that were sent to me by our friends at Punk and Lizard. Basically, there were like 3 platinums that I managed to get within 3 hours. All you had to do was literally follow these guides on a website and just make the choices that I told you to at the time. And like there was ridiculous amounts of easy trophies to get, and the quickest one, it took me about 22 minutes to platinum it.
Nice.
So for people who love trophies, that's absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
And then there's obviously Kung Fu Rabbit, which is my most recent review on the site. And that's really, really fun. If people like Super Meat Boy, and I know that we gave Super Meat Boy a really high score, then Kung Fu Rabbit's not quite as, expansive as Super Meat Boy. It's not quite as difficult, but it's still like the similar kind of experience. So I definitely say that's worth a look. Speaking of which, Super Meat Boy as well. That's just got me angry. It's such a difficult game.
Oh yeah.
And it just makes me want to throw my Vita, and that's why I haven't played it much. I've also been playing some Rogue Legacy as well. I'm hoping to finally get the platinum on it, but it's the crazy bosses, the neon bosses, I believe they are. Those things are just difficult. They're incredibly difficult. And then also I've been utilizing my US PlayStation account, my American PlayStation Network account. So far I've had 2 games on there so far. One which I can't talk about yet, but the other is 3/4 Home, which was also an incredibly weird visual novel that I really, really enjoyed. Basically about a phone call on a drive home whilst there's a hurricane happening. It's crazy how expansive it is, considering you can finish it in a half hour, but there's so many different endings and so many different turns that the story can make. And as well, you never get introduced to the characters, but it's just basically a phone call, but you get this image in the head of what these people are like just from a phone call, and you never actually see them.
Weird.
So I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, it sounds very interesting.
It really is, yeah. It's definitely worth a look, and I think it's at a really accessible price, and the pricing for it as well is worth it for what it is.
Right.
I know it's fairly cheap, so it's definitely worth a look if you like visual novels and interesting and unique experiences. But yeah, that's my lot there for the time being.
Huh. Well, all right. Thank you for that long list of stuff you've been playing. But it's a good list. It's definitely a good list. So Kyle, it's your turn now. What did you play?
Well, my list is a lot shorter than Liam's list, but it's a good list anyway. So nothing wrong with it. First of all, I played a little bit more Code Realized, even though I platinumed it. There's still a couple kind of side route things that I had missed in the main storyline, so I went back to see kind of what was there, and some interesting stuff. Nothing too important, but was definitely worth a look. Let's put it that way. Also, I've been playing Super Beat Sonic, which is my next review game. So good. I think I'm almost up to 100 plays now, so it's getting pretty deep in there, and it's hard on the hard end and so good on the other end. But you'll definitely hear more about that as my review kind of comes to fruition over the next couple days. So look forward to that. Also, I switched over to my Japanese account because Tokyo Xanadu dropped a demo in Japan, and it was I don't mean to gush, but it was friggin' awesome. There's not a whole lot of content to the demo. It's only about 213 megabytes in size, but you get to play through the first kind of area and the first boss with one of 3 different teams of characters. So you get a guy and a girl that are kind of teamed up in a complementary way. So one of them is more magic, and one of them is kind of more melee than the other.
Yeah.
And I bet you I've played through it 15, 18 times now. It's just so good. I really want them to bring it over. I have no idea what they're saying for the most part. My Japanese is poor, and especially in video games, it seems like it's half the time they mumble and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's interesting. But I played through the demo like 18 times, and it was awesome. But also, while I was playing through some Tokyo Xanadu, I thought, maybe I should play some God Eater Resurrection demo as well. So I went back and played some more of that, and unlocked some more stuff that I didn't know that I could unlock because Japanese wall of text. And yeah, it was interesting playing some new bits on that, even though I didn't think there were any new bits to have. So
Yeah.
that's pretty much what I've played since the last time we talked. So, what about you, Tyler?
Well, all right. Well, I got my hands on some more Super Beat Sonic, that rhythm game you were talking about.
Good man.
Oh yeah, uh, that game it's a lot of fun. Very challenging though. Have you unlocked the third difficulty yet?
Oh yeah, Tyler. In my video or whatever that I just put up, it's a comparison between the three different modes playing simultaneously on the song Collaboration. So if you're
Okay,
interested, give that a look.
I'll have to.
But yeah,
Yeah,
I've unlocked the mode.
nice. Well, all right. Yeah, that that like every jump in the level changes how you have to think and play, and it's crazy, but it's really good. So I'm enjoying it. Um, Other than that, I played a little bit of Super Meat Boy, and that game is just, it's so challenging. So challenging, but it's so much fun. I need to upload some more videos because I've been doing the not live stream. I've been doing a let's plays of that, and I haven't uploaded one in a while, but I will soon because I've been loving that game, and it's always fun to rage sometimes. Not really, but yeah, I need to do that some more. Other than that, I don't think I've really played anything else. I've been very busy, and considering we just recorded episode 99 a couple days ago, didn't really give me much time to jump back on when Halloween and all that was coming up and whatnot. So it's been a very short couple days of busyness happening, sadly. But I definitely plan on sitting down and just playing the crap out of a ton of games this week, so I'm excited for that. Anyways, I think that's pretty much it for me. So we're gonna jump into those talking points, Kyle, because this is episode 100. Things are different in this episode, right, Kyle? Fine, don't say nothing.
They are
Kyle.
different, Tyler.
Oh, you're just gonna do that awkward pause?
I was muting for traffic. We have a very high traffic area right outside my house. And of course, it's 4:14 in the afternoon right now, so they're like, "Hey, let's drive around." And yeah, I was sparing you guys the can't speak, loud car noises. But anyway, we do have quite a few talking points this time, and the first up for episode 100 is kind of something I thought we'd look forward instead of looking back. 10 games from 2016 that you're interested in and are coming west. So these are games that have been confirmed, not rumors or we want them or, bullcrap like that. So I'm going to shoot it over to Tyler, and Tyler can start us off.
Do you want me to just run through the list, or do you want me to talk about each one?
Well, you can talk about them as much as you want, but if somebody else has something to chime in with, leave a little room.
All right. Well, first up, it's a game that was basically, it's kind of fresh and new, announced, kind of. TGS, I believe, is when it was announced, I think. It's Attack on Titan, and, oh man, I want that one so bad. You don't know how bad I want that game. If you know me at all...
I know, Tyler.
Yeah.
do you remember what happened a couple weeks ago? We played that stupid Attack on Titan browser game.
Yes, it was so much fun. God, I want to play it again now.
Yeah, we want this Attack on Titan game so bad that we resorted to playing a browser game, yes, on the internet, and it was absolutely, horrible and ridiculously hard, but we had some fun with it, so... We're definitely looking forward to some Attack on Titan, that's for sure.
Yeah, with how Freedom Wars handled the Monster Hunter style game, it just got me so excited for these types of games. And considering that Attack on Titan is obviously a different type of monster hunting type of game, it's gonna be exciting. Especially it's it's like when you watch the anime and you see that Titan for the first time, and it's just destroying everything and eating people, and you're just like, oh my god. Like, I can't wait to be like, put that game in or download it. I don't know if it's going to be digital or physical. Anyways, that doesn't matter. But start playing that game, and then they put me on my first mission or whatever, and I just get to see that weird, creepy, grinning Titan staring down at me, and I'm like, you want me to kill that? All right. And just see how terrible I do. I can't wait for that game. But anyways, I won't talk too much about these other games because I feel like I talked a lot about Attack on Titan. But I've got quite a bit of games here. Obviously 10, but they're all pretty different. So next up, Forgotten Memories. This is a horror style game. Haven't really heard much about it lately. I think Liam actually just wrote a story about it, didn't you?
I did, yes.
Yeah. I've been looking forward to this game ever since it was first announced, and haven't heard literally anything really lately. I've been bugging them on Twitter every year, like, hey guys, haven't forgotten PS Vita, Forgotten Memories, and they always say it's coming. I'm just like, all right, bye. I'll talk to you guys next year. So I mean, it's something I've been waiting for so long. It looks so good. If you're a fan of what Resident Evil Revelations 2 did on the Vita, I think this one could really grab your interest. Next up, Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth. We've talked about this a lot on the podcast and how excited we are for it. So yeah, I can't wait to get my hands on that one. Lego Marvel Avengers is the next one. I love the Lego games. I love Jurassic World on the Vita, and if Lego Jurassic World is any indication on how they're going to continue the franchise of Lego games on the Vita, then I am definitely excited for Lego Marvel's Avenger, because I love Marvel Avengers and I just love Legos, so it's a perfect combination, and I'm ready to get into that. Also, we've got World of Final Fantasy. This was announced where was this announced? I don't even remember. Was it TGS? Something?
Yeah, E3.
E3? That's right, yeah. Yeah, I'm, oh man, so excited for that. It looks so good. I love the Final Fantasy series, and this one it's a weird take on the Final Fantasy series, but I think that's a good thing. And the fact that we're getting it on the Vita is just fantastic. So, next up, these are two games I actually got to play at PAX Prime, and I cannot wait for them. We've got Randall, which is very similar to Guacamelee. So if you're a fan of Guacamelee, then I would highly recommend looking up this game and seeing if it interests you. You play this dude that can basically control his enemies. So it's kind of weird sounding. Like, you can beat them up and then you take over their mind and you can control them. So it's kind of weird, but it looks really fun. Lots of platforming puzzles to solve and whatnot. So I'm excited for that. And then next up was Drive, Drive, Drive. I played a very, very early build of this game, and what I played was awesome. You control 3 different cars on 3 different tracks, and your goal is to get the best finish on each race. So you start off on, let's say the blue track, you start racing, you get up to first place, and then you switch down to the green track. Your green driver has been doing okay, but he's not doing that great, so you want to get him up to first place. Meanwhile, your blue driver just crashed and now lost your first place. You got to go jump back to the blue driver, or go back to the red driver that you haven't even touched yet and try to get him to first. And you have to do this all in one lap. It sounds so crazy, but it sounds so awesome. And this game is supposed to have multiplayer, so I could just imagine Kyle and I and Liam and anyone else that wants to join playing this game and just laughing our asses off as we try to get the best finish for all of our drivers. It just looks so much fun. I can't wait for it. What else did I mention here? Oh yeah, Regalia of Sons and Monarchs. This is, I believe, the Kickstarter RPG game. I don't really know too much about it. I just know that I watched the trailer and was like, I want this game, and then I stopped watching the trailer. So all I know is I want it, but I don't really know too much about it, so I can't really say too much about that. I think I was gonna back it. I don't know if I did. Did I back it? I can't even remember if I backed this game or not. But regardless, I want it, so I can't wait. Next up, I've got here Rainbow Skies. This is the sequel to Rainbow Moon. It looks great. If you're a fan of Rainbow Moon, then I think you'll be a fan of Rainbow Skies. So, again, this is something I don't know too much about. I don't think they've really showed a lot about it, off. So, I can't really say too much about it, but I liked Rainbow Moon, so I'm definitely excited for the sequel. And next up, it's going to be kind of weird because I'm not really that excited for it, but I also am excited because of all the controversy that's been going on with it, and that's Mighty Number 9. I just want to get my hands on it and just see how it is, and just I want to be a part of that conversation when it finally launches. So yeah, I'm excited for that one. So there we go. There's my 10 games, and I'm looking forward to in 2016. Kyle, what do you got?
Well, I'm actually going to throw over to Liam first.
Oh, fine.
I want to
Okay.
go last, so.
Okay, I see how it is.
That's fine. So I got my list from the list that's on the forum of releases for 2016. So I'm going to start off with Odin Sphere. It was one of those games where when I was younger, I always wanted it on my PlayStation 2, and it just never happened. So I'm hoping that's going to come to Europe. If not, I'm going to import the US copy. But I really want to play that game because it looks so interesting, and it's definitely my style of game. Especially like it's alongside the lines of Dragon's Crown, and I'm over the moon for that coming out. I'd be really happy to play that. Next is Digimon Story. I can't wait to play another Digimon game. It's been far too long since I last played a Digimon game. And then even I know Nonskvo in the chat will be happy about this one because I know he's just mentioned it. Love. That sounds like an incredible visual novel. I think there was something about one of the visual novels being about robots or something, which seems really, really crazy. Elliot Quest. That's a throwback game to Zelda 2. So I'd be willing to play that because I like Zelda 2, even though I know it's one of the more controversial Zelda games. Drive for the same reasons that Tyler wanted that. That looks hectic and it looks fun. One Piece Burning Blood. That looked fun when that got announced to TGS. I thought that looked great. I haven't been a fan of the One Piece series, but I am wanting to get into it. So I will be playing that. Senran Kagura Estival Versus launches in Europe in 2016, so I've added that on my list just because it's Senran Kagura, and I don't think I need to elaborate on why we love Senran Kagura. World of Final Fantasy again. I've always wanted a unique Final Fantasy game on the Vita. I know we got the 10 and 10 2 HD remakes, but I like the idea of a brand new Final Fantasy experience on Vita. Slain, because Slain sounds like it has an amazing soundtrack to it. I know it's going to be more of a dark and metal soundtrack. So I'd like to play that. And finally, Rainbow Skies, the next game by East Asia Soft. I liked Rainbow Moon. It was difficult, but Rainbow Skies looks like it's going to be just as interesting as the first game. So, yeah, that's my 10.
All right,
nice.
so I guess it's my turn. And it seems like we've all got kind of similar games, so I think that goes to show our taste with the Vita. But anyway, I'll rattle through mine because most of these have been talked about. Number 1, for me, as well as Tyler, is Attack on Titan. I remember back to first watching that anime, I just thought it was so badass, and every week I had to, wait for it to be available to be able to watch it, and it was just so nerve-wracking. I remember, literally sitting and refreshing pages to, get this anime. So I'm super looking forward to this game, and if it's anything like the movement that you get in Freedom Wars, it's going to be so good. Senran Kagura Estival Versus. Now, this one's winter, I guess, 2015, but it was clarified on Twitter that winter means into next year, so looks like we're going to be waiting till 2016 for that one, and that one's hugely high on my list because I enjoyed the hell out of the first one. Next up, Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth. What is there to say? It's Digimon. I'm not big into Digimon, but I like the idea of Digimon. You're raising monsters and battling them. And we don't have Pokemon, so I'll take what I can get. Also, it looks like Severed is going into 2016, so that has made my top 10 list as well. I can't wait to see what the Drinkbox Studios guys have up their sleeve, I guess, with this, because we haven't seen too much of it, and yeah, they impressed me very much so with Guacamelee, and I can't wait. Also, Drive. I don't really care too much about the single player element, but I really want to play this multiplayer with Tyler, because I think this could lead to some interesting videos and hilarious times, just like we've had with Little Big Planet, only not created just because of stupidity, which we like. Also, next on my list is Randall. As I said, I love Guacamelee. This is that kind of game, so of course it's got my attention. And then Tyler played a bit of it and was giving, glowing statements to me, so of course I have to jump on the bandwagon there. Next up is Odin Sphere Leaf Thresher. I actually don't know a whole lot about this one. Apparently it was a PS2 game way back when, but now we're getting an HD port, and that kind of put me on to the idea of it. And I've watched some of the videos, and I'm interested, so I'm eagerly looking forward to that one. As Liam said, Muv-Luv, they may be ripping out the adult bits, but I don't care. I'll still play it because I like myself a good visual novel. And even I've dabbled in some of the Atome ones, and I can deal with those. So if I can deal with those, I can deal with whatever they're going to bring me. Next up is One Piece Burning Blood. Alright, so if you've listened to the podcast, you know I haven't played the other two One Piece games on Vita, but I have made it a solemn vow, as of today, my birthday, to play these games very soon. So they have moved up my list. I will get to some One Piece, because even though I kind of don't like the anime and backstory bit, I've watched some gameplay of these, and they kind of seem like they might tickle my nostalgia kind of factor with some of the earlier games that were kind of that adventure style. So I'm into it. And my last game on my list here is one that nobody's mentioned, Galga Double Peace. So it was announced that they were bringing this one over for localization after they asked us, and we responded quite in kind. And it seems like it would be placed for a 2016 launch, so I'm definitely looking forward to that one. It's got Senran Kagura elements, let's say, to it, but it's not that kind of game at all. It's kind of a shooter-esque version of it, kind of. It's hard to explain. You should go watch a trailer. Anyway, but yeah, definitely looking forward to that. And that's my 10.
Very nice. Lots of games to look forward to in 2016.
Very much so.
Lots of different
and
games,
not
too.
just that. Yeah, not just the stuff that we've mentioned either. There's other stuff, and there's stuff that we didn't talk about because we know that they're coming over, but there's nothing official. So, stuff will happen. Don't worry. 2016 looks good.
Of course. Well, all right. So the next thing was the wrong thing. Nope, that's the wrong thing too. The 5 games we want from Japan that haven't been announced to come west.
That's right. So I figured since we were doing stuff that has been announced, let's do kind of a little wish list here. So I'm going to kick it back to you, Tyler, and we'll do the same order, I guess, through this again.
All right. Sounds good. So first here, I've got Tokiden 2. I love Tokiden, and the way that they're approaching this one is completely different, but at the same time feels very similar. So I'm hoping that it comes west, and considering both the other Tokiden games did, there's a good chance. So let's hope. That game looks so awesome, even though I haven't really seen much of it. But hey, I want it. Also, Sword Art Online Hollow Realization. We've got both of the Sword Art Online games, so why would we not get this one? But still, it's nice to hear that official word that it is, so that would be another one. And then last podcast, episode 99, I believe it was, we talked about a game called Uppers and how weird it was, and I would love to see that one get localized just because it looks so hilarious. I'm down with that. I know Kyle's down with that, so let's
I'm very down with that, Tyler.
Yeah. Let's do that. Also, Dragon Quest Builders. That game looks so awesome. I love the Minecraft style games, and this one seems a lot different, but with very similar tastes. So I want it. It looks really fun. I want something different in the Minecraft style genre, and this is exactly what that's delivering, hopefully. So I'd love an announcement to bring that over here. And then I've got a game I really don't know anything about. I watched a trailer of it, and I was like, you know what? I probably would like this game. I literally know nothing about it, so forgive me. But it's called The Asterisk War, The Academy City on the Water. I literally know nothing about it. I watched a trailer, very little gameplay. Looked cool. I want it.
Well, actually, kind of something going off that. I'm watching the anime of that. There's an anime of that just kind of started recently, and it's actually pretty good. So if it follows the same kind of formula that the anime does with regards to kind of action and stuff like that, it should be a pretty good game.
Right. Well, that's good to hear. Because I want it. I want it!
Good to know. Good to know. All right, Liam, what do you think?
Okay, so I want to start off with 13 Sentinels. Again, that's another game by Atlas. And I like the idea of, the more like Dragon's Crown type games. So 13 Sentinels, when I saw the trailer for that at TGS, it looked absolutely incredible and unique, and I love the art style of that, so I hope that comes west. And then next is one that I know it's going to send a lot of people crazy because it has been out in Japan a while now, and we keep getting teased about it possibly coming, but then we get shut down, which is Phantasy Star Online 2. What I would give to have a massive MMO on PlayStation Vita, that would be absolutely fantastic, but we keep getting teased that, oh yeah, it might do it, and then they keep opening up American servers and then closing them down, and then we just all get sad about it. But yeah, I'd love to see that come over, especially considering it's a free-to-play MMO as well over in Japan. So I know you can buy a physical and get extra items, but you can download it for free and play. So I think that would be like an excellent idea. Next up, Sword Art Online Hollow Realization. Again, we've had the other two, so why wouldn't we get this one? And Sword Art Online is just an absolutely fantastic thing. It's the only anime I've been able to sit and watch start to finish and really enjoy it. So I'd love to see that come over. Death Under the Labyrinth. I like what Idea Factory are doing with the Vita. They're one of the developers who really, embraced the Vita and targeted it's the niche audience who love JRPGs and crazy Japanese games like Hyperdimension, Neptunia, and that kind of thing. So if they were to release that over here, that would be absolutely amazing. And to finish off, I would say Dragon Quest Builders as well. Dragon Quest Builders looks basically like Minecraft, but it has a meaningful story to it. It looks like it has an end goal. So I'd love to see them bring that over here as well, because it gives me more of a reason to work with something. Because when I play Minecraft, I feel directionless. Like, oh yeah, I'm going to eventually meet up with something and it's going to ruin my building and all my stuff. But with Dragon Quest Builders, I feel like there's going to be an end goal and there's going to be reasons for doing things. So yeah, that's my top 5.
All right. So I'll jump into mine then. Kind of some different stuff than these guys, so at least we got a little bit of difference there. So first on my list right now, Tokyo Xanadu. After playing that demo, I'm hooked. I want it. Give me it. I don't care who I have to blow to get it. Give it.
Whoa.
It's one of those things where you start playing it and you're like, holy crap, I can't believe that like there's kind of a game like this, because even though it's pretty simplistic, it's very addictive. And even with what little they give you in the demo, I want more. So that's first on my list. Second on my list is Sword Art Online Hollow Realization. I've only played Hollow Fragment so far. I haven't played Lost Song because I haven't got my review copy yet, and I didn't import, so I can't comment directly on that. But just from the first game alone, I would kill for this, and we need more Sword Art Online, and I can't wait till we have like an actual VR Sword Art Online, because that would be sweet. Anywho, moving on. So this is something that never really came up with these guys, and that's Valkyrie Drive Bikuni. You may have seen me complaining on Twitter about how lewd the anime is, and I kind of want to play it just to see how lewd the game is, because I don't mind lewd, but the anime is crazy, and I can't see how they would top that on a game. Even though if it did come over here, it would probably be censored all the hell. Anywho, moving on. E's next. I think they were saying that it was supposed to be out for the end of this year. Doesn't look like that's going to happen, so it's probably going to be next year. But I hope we get it before the end life of the Vita, because it's one of those things that when I played E's Memories of Sosetta, I was like, holy shit, this is a great action RPG. It was one of those things where I started it not really expecting to be so into it, and by the time I noticed anything, I was done the game. So to have another one on the Vita, it's something that I really want. And the last one from my top 5 here, I'm going to go with the one that Tyler was talking about, and we've kind of talked ourselves into this, Uppers. That game it's crazy, and it's from Kenichiro Takaki, so Senran Kakura producer. It's going to be crazy, and the murder boat aspect of it just tipped me over. Other than that, though, I do want to mention 5 kind of, good mentions alongside those 5 that I just listed off. And that's Tukiden 2, Steins Gate 0, Omega Labyrinth, Digimon World Next Order, and Dead or Alive Extreme 3 Venus. I would so love to have any of those games as well in the West.
Yeah, I'd like to throw out an honourable mention to Saga as well. That looks interesting, and I know the series has been localized in the past, so I'd like to see that come over as well. I mean, I know we haven't seen much in the way of gameplay of it or anything, but I'd still like that. The more games, the merrier.
Oh yeah, just fill up that backlog.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Yeah, some great games Japan is having, and they need to stop holding on to them, Kyle. They need to bring them over here.
They do. They should just really release those games over there and then patch them with English subtitles, and then just take that version that is patched with English subtitles and bring them over here, and then just, if you can, bring us some voices, because we'd really rather have the games subtitled than not have them at all. And
exactly.
We need more games, so there you go.
Well, who do we think would be the best people to bring those over, Kyle? That's kind of what your next thing was, isn't it?
Indeed. So our next topic is, who's your favorite localization team? So speaking of bringing games over, localization teams do just that. And, well, let's find out who our favorites are. So instead of making Tyler go first, I'll go first this time. And really, I can't choose between 3, so I'm sorry to have to mention 3. But Axis Games, NIS America, and Xseed are frigging awesome. Pretty much most of the stuff that they bring over, I'm interested in, or somebody I know is interested in. So just them, catering to their fans so well like that, I applaud them. And a lot of their stuff comes out quite well as in translation and stuff like that. So usually you don't have to worry with them when they're bringing something over. So yeah. What about you guys?
Well, I mean, you picked the 3 that I had in mind, so thanks.
That's why I went first, Alex.
Yeah, I'll pick the one that I am thinking, and that is Xseed. Everything that they've brought over, I've just loved so much. So, just everything they do. It's great. So anytime they announce a game that's coming, and it's on the Vita, and it's they're handling it, it's like, oh yeah, all right. What is this about? Even if I've never heard of it in my life, I make sure to learn more about their game. So, yeah. What about you, Liam?
Okay, so I agree that everything that Xseed brings over is pretty much gold. The one localization team that's really got to me, especially since joining the Beta Lounge team, I would say is Idea Factory International. Thanks to them, I've played games that I never ever dreamed of playing, such as the Hyperdimension Neptunia series and Amnesia Memories, which is one of my standout games for this year. I know I might be jumping ahead a bit there, but it was like the first visual novel that I ever really sat down and played and was blown away by it. And from there, that helped me get into other visual novels as well, such as the Danganronpa series. Being able to sit down and experience one and like make me realize that I understand the genre and what the genre can do. So, yeah, I'd like to say Idea Factory.
Nice. Well, all right. Some great companies there.
Definitely.
They keep doing us a good service.
Yes. Yes, they do.
Honorable mention, Koei Tecmo.
Oh, yeah.
Because they bring a lot to Vita. It's kind of crazy how much they bring to Vita.
Oh,
yeah.
and another honorable mention, Banco.
Yes, Bamco. Although they need to, get some more editors in there for their localizations.
Especially for God Eater.
Especially for anything Sword Art Online, please. For the love of God.
I mean, I know the initial localization of Hollow Fragment was really bad, but then they got another team in to do the PlayStation 4 version, which is much better. I've got both versions, and I can say the localization on the PlayStation 4 better is much better than the Vita version.
Well, hopefully Lost Song shows their effort to change their ways of how they worked on the first one.
Yeah, I do hope so.
I mean, I do have the imported version of Lost Song, which I've definitely noticed a lot of improvements, so I can say that.
Oh, that's a good sign then.
Oh, yeah. Anyways, we've got kind of a very interesting topic here. I mean, we're not at the end of the year, Kyle, but you want us to talk about this, so what is it?
Well, always kicking to me for these, aren't you, Tyler?
Yeah, I mean, you're the talking point man.
Yeah, I know, but this is a little bit different of a podcast. So you could take some liberties, maybe, Tyler. Just hint.
I
But
don't
anyway,
need to do anything.
What Tyler's alluding to there is, what's your pick for Game of the Year so far? So that's our next talking point. And yeah, I'm not going first, but I'm not going to make Tyler go first either. Liam, what do you think?
Yeah. Oh, okay. So there's been it has been a solid year. I do think it has been a good year for Vita. We've had all of the controversies of it's dead and the dropping first party support from it this year. But it has been a good year for third party support. So the few games that I'd like to mention would be Tuguden Kiwami. I had a lot of fun with that, and that game is absolutely stunning. Heroes of Loot. That was a game that I got given to me. I got a code for that off a friend, and that game, it's such a simple game. It's nothing complicated. It's not demanding, but it's just fun. It's one of those games where when you die, you just want to go back to it and try harder. And that's the kind of game that I like. It is a roguelike, so it's really fun. Shovel Knight. I was happy that Shovel Knight made its way to Vita. I was hoping for that game to come to Vita for a long time. And when that did, I was quite surprised with the first playthrough of just how good it was. Ollie Ollie 2, I think that's one of those titles that might get overlooked because it was earlier in the year. But Ollie Ollie 2 was just as fun, if not more fun than the first game for the extra additions and the features that it brought. I know there wasn't too much of a gap between the first game and the second game releasing, but you can tell just by playing it that it's much better. And then finally is the only 5 out of 5 that we've had on the site this year, which would be Steins Gate. I played that not long after Amnesia Memories, and Steins Gate is just absolutely fantastic. So if I had to narrow it down, it would be to those. But I can't say just yet which one I would give number 1 to.
Not bad. I need to finish Steins Gate.
I need to get Steins Gate.
Yeah, Kyle.
Dude, you're missing out big time on that. It's absolutely fantastic.
I know, and I've avoided all the spoilers, so if you spoil things on me, instead of buying Steingate, I'll buy a plane ticket to your house, and, well, you know it goes from there.
I wouldn't spoil it for you. It is definitely something that everybody needs to experience because, again, it's a multiple endings thing and the story can branch out. So the way I look at it is that no matter what, I'd say it's totally different either way.
Well, all right. So for me, I think I've got two contenders right now. No, three. I've got three contenders, and it's kind of weird. But my first one that's leaning more towards taking it for me is going to be Helldivers. I loved Helldivers. It's so much fun. Kyle and I played it a lot, as you've heard in previous podcast episodes, and it's just a really good game. And they constantly, give feedback about it, or not feedback. They constantly do updates for it, so it's just great. I love it so much, and we need to play more of it, Kyle and Liam. Come on, what are we doing?
Well, there's something quite soon that's going to kind of make us play it.
There is. Well, people should know in the comments. They should just start chatting about it because they already know, right? Anyways, the other game is going to be Lego Jurassic World. I'm kind of surprised to hear myself say a Lego game as being a contender for my favorite game of this year, but it's just a really fun game, and I had a good experience with it. So why should it not be considered for that kind of stuff? So, yeah, I mean, if you're a fan of the Jurassic Park series, it's a fun game. Anyways, the third game that I think has a chance is going to be Persona 4 Dancing All Night. I love the story aspects of the game, and the dancing part, it's weird at first, but I think it makes sense when you start playing it and you get through the story and things start to happen. Like there's times where things didn't feel right, but at the same time, getting to go through another story with these characters, it was exciting and fun to watch. So if you're a fan of visual novels, I think it really does a good job of doing that as well as being a rhythm game. So I think those are my three contenders right now. I think Helldivers right now has the most chance of taking it, but those other two games are really good too. So yeah. What about you, Kyle?
Yeah.
All right, so me, I think I really actually have a clear winner so far. And I think my clear winner so far is Danganronpa, another episode, Ultra Despair Girls. Yeah, I just had such a good time with that game, and I played through, a couple of the areas over again just to kind of boost for trophies and stuff. And I found myself, like, instead of, jamming the button to get through the areas so that I could get the trophies, enjoying my playthrough again. So usually with stuff like that, it doesn't happen for me as easy, and the fact that game could pull me back just as easy, it definitely makes it stick out in my head. The other thing is I want to mention, and these are honorable mentions, and I think they only really didn't make Game of the Year kind of for me because of how pick up and play they are instead of something that kind of leaves a mark on you. And that's Ollie Ollie 2 and Tetris Ultimate. They're definitely my addictions, so I play them quite a bit, but they just aren't, that impressionable as compared to Danganronpa, another episode. So I definitely think that's my number one, but those are definitely right up there as far as mentions.
Nice. Good games. I need to finish that Danganronpa game.
Yes, you do. I can't believe you haven't finished it, Tyler.
I know. I've been struggling here.
I
need to like call in sick one day and be like, I have Vita-itis and I need to play Vita.
Yeah, I think they'll buy that.
They will.
What were you saying, Liam?
I need to play through Danganronpa 2 before I can start Ultra Despair Girls.
Yes, you do. See, Kyle, throwing all your hate at him.
Damn it, you guys.
I'm well behind.
Yeah, we both are, Liam. We've got our problems.
And then again, I know you mentioned Persona 4 Dancing All Night as well, which I know us European folks, there's a few people in the chat saying it as well. That's not out for us yet. It's coming out on Friday for us now. I've got my copy pre-ordered, so I'm looking forward to getting into that and following on the story, because Persona 4 Golden is quite possibly the best Vita game. Without a doubt, it is the best Vita game. So following on that story and seeing where we're going next with that would be absolutely amazing. So I'm really excited to play that.
Well, I look forward to hearing your thoughts on it when you get your hands on it.
I'll certainly be letting you know my thoughts.
Well, all right, there you go. There's our picks for the game of the year so far. You guys should let us know what you guys think of that and throw out your own opinions, of course. What else we got here? What Vita game cancellation has been the biggest disappointment? Oh, this one hurts my heart without even having to say anything yet. Liam, what are you most disappointed about not making its way to the Vita anymore?
Oh, right. I'm actually going to throw this to Kyle first because I need a sec to think about this.
No worries. I've got mine pretty primed and don't have a lot to say, so we can cut through it real fast and get back to Liam not being able to talk. But anyways, so my pick is Hand of Fate. This one it was announced way back as coming, and then Tyler got his hands on it. I believe he played the Xbox version, right, Tyler?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So he played the Xbox version. He was like, "Oh, this is coming to Vita. It's sweet, blah blah blah." And then, we were kind of conversing with, I believe it was developers, and they were saying, it's going to be pretty close to the same, idea as the
console version,
home console version, right? So it's going to be real close and all this stuff, and we were getting all hyped for it, and then they were like, nope, and it kind of broke my heart a little. And it was after that I started kind of not trusting in the fact that a game was coming until somebody showed me, a screen of it running or something like that. So
right.
I've become a little bit more cautious thanks to Hand of Fate, and so that one is definitely my biggest disappointment. Back to you, Liam.
Okay. So I guess the game that I mentioned hasn't been cancelled as such. It just got moved platform. I think you're all going to know what I'm about to say, and that's Gravity Rush 2. Gravity Rush was the defining game that made me want to get a PlayStation Vita. That was the game where I first saw the footage and was like, I have to have that. And fair enough, the first Gravity Rush came around and it was amazing. And then when we saw that snippet from TGS a couple of years ago of a possible Gravity Rush 2, I got so excited about that. And then with the recent announcements that it's no longer going to be a Vita game and it's coming to PlayStation 4 instead, I'm a little sad because Gravity Rush was, I guess, Sony's main first-party unique IP for the Vita. It was it came out of nowhere. It was absolutely fantastic. And I thought, oh yeah, they could make this a series on Vita and this could be their Vita, the system seller. But then again, it just looks like they needed more power of the PlayStation 4 to make Gravity Rush 2 happen, which, I am glad it's still going to happen, but at the same time, I wanted it to be a Vita game.
Yeah. Gravity Rush. Oh, man.
Damn it, Gravity Rush.
Yep. Oh, well. We'll just be bitter old hating jerks over here. Not really, but I'll never let that one go. Never. Anyways, for me, I definitely would have to agree with Kyle on Hand of Fate. He said, I played that game on the Xbox at PAX 2 years ago, and I loved it. It was so much fun, and the lady that was talking to me about the game, she knew that I was there for the Vita Lounge and everything, and she sounded very excited for it to be coming to the Vita and was talking about its progress and everything, and I was like, this is awesome. Not at one point had I ever thought it would never come, and then seeing that being tweeted out and talked about, I was just like, you've got to be kidding me. Seriously? But anyways, the game that I'm going to choose is Nom Nom Galaxy, actually. That game looks like a lot of fun. It kind of grabs that Terraria vibe, and I love Terraria. but it also has a very different, take on that type of game. So hearing that one got canceled as well, I was like, what is going on here? Like, these games are, like, I could see them doing so well. Like, why are you taking them away from us? I mean, I understand there's lots of money involved, and there's obviously things that we don't know about, so, you got to think of those things, but it still sucks, like, to hear a game that you're so excited for being taken away, it sucks. But, I mean, at least the games that we're talking about, they actually are coming out, just not on the Vita. I mean, it's not like a game that got completely canceled that's, not coming out ever. So, I mean, if we really want to, we could actually get our hands on them and still play them. But, of course, the Vita is where it was meant to be.
Speaking of that, kind of, I remember way back there was like I believe it was like an RPG dungeon crawler game, and it was supposed to be like from kind of a big studio, and they were talking about it, way back when the Vita first came out.
Would that be ruined by Sony San Diego?
Maybe. I think it was like after it got a name change and it was something else. Anyway,
Warriors Lair? I don't know.
Yeah, I think that might have been it. But anyway, so this game way back, it was coming, and then it got canceled like outright. It wasn't coming to any other platform. And then I remember like had to been maybe 2 months ago now. Some guy like he had just found out that it was canceled. Like it was canceled like 2 years ago. He just found out, and he wrote like 30 posts in a row on Twitter about like how much bullshit it was and like all this stuff. And I couldn't believe how much he was flipping out. But it was just so crazy, and that's one of those cases where they definitely did cancel the game and never brought it out anywhere. So I remember that. So it has happened, and some people were pretty pissed about it. So yeah,
it looked like a fun game. I remember seeing screenshots for it. So
yeah, I don't remember too much, but I do remember that when I first saw it, I was interested, and then not long after I saw it, they were like, "Yep, canceled." I was like, "Oh."
Womp womp. Anyways,
and again, I think one of a big progress, like a big project that was announced that just never ever came into fruition, that might be worth a mention, is BioShock Vita.
Oh, yeah.
That got announced like, oh yeah, we're going to do this. There's going to be a BioShock game on Vita, and then that was the only thing we ever heard about it.
I think that was sort of like more of a dick move than a cancellation, though, because I heard, I think it was Ken Levine. He was saying that he was in talks with it, and they just wouldn't like talk back to him. Like, so he kept saying, I want to do this, and like, what are we doing? And no one would answer him. So there's some bad PR communication going on there.
Speaking of all that,
indeed,
we should go to the next one.
All right, so moving to our next talking point. So Sony allowing the press to report the Vita is doomed, no more games, and then switching to we're still publishing Vita games. So if you haven't heard, not long ago, one of the Sony heads said, there's no more first-party titles in development. And then not long after that, a Sony head from a different area, I believe, came out and said, yeah, we're still publishing Vita games, they just won't be AAA. So they're saying that these are first-party titles, but they're not AAA, which that kind of seems mostly contradictory, at least to me. And yeah, just the whole, unclearness of things. It seems like they've been very unclear about a lot of Vita aspects. So I was just kind of wondering what your guys' thoughts are on that, beyond what we've already talked about.
Yeah, I mean, it's just typical Sony. Just there's no cohesion between all of their headquarters and who's talking about what, and it just shows how unorganized they were from the very beginning, revolving around the Vita, and it's frustrating to see this. So, there's not much you can really say about it other than that just they really don't know what they're doing, and it's mind-boggling, really.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. It's like 1 week they're saying, "Oh no, we're making no more games for this. Oh, it's over," and then you get Jim Ryan that's saying at Paris Games Week this week, "Oh yeah, we're still doing things with the Vita. We're still publishing stuff." Which one's right? Where do we stand? Not
Yeah.
even Sony knows what they're doing with the Vita anymore.
Yep. It's difficult to understand, but what are we gonna do?
Indeed, I think the whole fact that Sony heads are coming out and saying one thing and then rebuking like each other and saying another just shows how unorganized the Vita ecosystem is. It's one of those places where gamers are asking for a lot of things. Publishers and developers are asking for help on certain things, and it doesn't seem like anyone's really getting a whole lot of answers very easily, at least, if at all. So, really, the whole state of press between Sony and the general public, especially the mainstream, is really tenuous at best, if it's even there. So. Yeah, it's a bad situation, and that's why a lot of the times you'll see a lot of the stuff go down, and the Vita Lounge won't even really kind of go into it because you can kind of see from where things are going and what we've kind of seen happen in the past that you kind of almost can't trust Sony when it comes to what they're saying about their own stuff,
Yeah.
especially for Vita. So. Until there's like a second, guy coming out and saying, yes, this is the way it is. I agree with this first guy. I take all that kind of stuff with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, Janderman1978 on Twitch chat talks about is like Big Fest still coming, and I mean this, it's frustrating also. But this is a problem with all games media or not media, PR and stuff like that. Like you'll hear about a game way too early, and then it just disappears, and you're like, is it still happening, guys? And they're like, yeah, don't worry about it. Soon. Months go by. It's like the same thing I brought up with Forgotten Memories. Like, I kept bringing it up to them on Twitter. They're like, yeah, it's coming, don't worry. And it's like, what the hell? Like, why would you announce this game so early? Like, I think a good example of a company doing it right, it's not a Vita game, but they are doing the right thing. And that is, and now I'm going to blank on their name as I'm thinking of it. Is it PSVITA, the company that's bringing out Fallout 4? Is that it? Yeah, like they announced Fallout 4, and it's like, guess what, guys? It's coming out this year. Like, that's how you do it, and it is coming out this year. So, I mean, like, they need to, like, all companies need to take lessons from that. Like, quit announcing your game so early.
Announce it when you know it's literally ready to come out, and it's got, like, it's winding down production, and then, then you won't get fans angry when you announce it, and it's not out for, like, another 2 or 3 years.
Exactly.
I think at least the best practice should be wait till your game is running on a platform before you announce it for that platform. How's that one?
Yeah, that one.
If you can run it there, if you can run it there, then there you go.
Right. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of lessons a lot of companies can learn. So, I mean, it's just frustrating. So, I mean, I'm like with Janderman, I'm really wanting to know what's going on with Big Fest. I used to be in a band. I'm pretty musical, So that game has I have a lot of interest in that type of game. And when I saw that was announced, I was like, sweet, I want that, and it's coming to the Vita. Like, awesome.
I mean, I'm in the same boat there. Being a drummer, music's like gaming's my main hobby, and music's like my secondary hobby.
Right.
So having a game that incorporates music as well, that's perfect for me. Yeah. And that's why I got excited about Big Fest. I was like, oh yeah, I can do all this, and I can promote smaller bands and stuff using this game. That would be fantastic. And then we're still waiting for that game, and it was announced back in 2013.
Right. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Hopefully we hear something soon, right?
Fingers crossed. I mean, trophies have been leaked for it already. If you go on most trophy sites, you'll find the trophy list for it. So
right.
Surely it's soon.
Maybe I'll be able to play it at PSX.
Hopefully it'll be out by PSX.
Yeah, I mean, it's got about a month, so we'll see. Anyways, did you want to say anything about that, Kyle? Or
I think you guys covered that bit pretty good.
Well, all right. I think we kind of jumped into the next one on, obviously, or not obviously. I think we jumped into that one as well. I don't know if you wanted to talk about it.
But I think there's a couple things that we can definitely mention. The next topic is actually bad PR in general. Basically, what I wanted to mention here is a lot of people have been asking lately, why don't you have a review out on day one, and why are things taking so long? Why don't you have this review up? Um, as with Sony, them having pretty bad PR, it seems like a lot of the PR companies and PR people that are managing Vita stuff are kind of going downhill as well. We've had a lot of situations recently where we've tried to get stuff, and the people who we have as our contacts have just kind of disappeared, and their emails are gone, and it's some odd stuff. So definitely, there's been some bad PR to marketing person, I guess we'll say, contact and back and forth. So it seems like PR has been pretty crap lately, and we wanted to kind of mention that because we know you guys, value our reviews and stuff like that, and we like to get them to you in a timely manner. But we've been having some issues, so not everyone's, being like this, and it's definitely not a universal thing because we seem to, sometimes we'll get a game and then sometimes we won't get a response. So yeah, it seems like Vita PR is kind of going downhill. So you'll have to kind of bear with us as we go through that kind of stuff. But we wanted to let you know that we're still, trying to get everything out as quick as we can. And there's just a lot to do. Vita isn't as dead as you may think.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you've nailed that all on the head pretty well. So it's definitely very interesting, but also very frustrating and sad to see. So.
And I mean, as well, it's like with games releasing and stuff, we do try and let people know well in advance that games are releasing. But when a PR company has a beta game set to announce, and the day before they say, "Oh no, it's been delayed," that kind of sucks. I'm not going to mention any games in particular, or even when it's just like there's no word on a game's announcement and it just kind of comes out. You're like, we could have had that news story on the site a couple of weeks ago to build up the hype, and then the readers of the site could have known about this game and they could have gotten themselves excited, ready to buy it, rather than just saying, "There it is, it's on the store now."
Well, that's the thing. It's like bad PR leads to bad marketing, and then nobody knows about these games, and then nobody buys them.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like the Vita, as far as software sales per what we have, out there in Vitas, we've got a pretty high software to hardware ratio. So, people buy games; they just have to know about them, just like people would buy a Vita if they knew about it, but they don't.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. The usual.
Very much so.
All right, Kyle, we're going to jump into the November's PlayStation Plus lineup. So, are we getting some cool stuff?
All right, so Tyler, I have some good news and some bad news.
Oh boy, lay it on me.
Good news. We're getting a new game.
Yeah,
Dragon
buddy.
Soup is going right into PlayStation Plus, North America and Europe, coming out on, I believe it's the 3rd. So, there you go. The bad news, alongside that one Vita game, we're getting a PSP game.
So yeah, I mean that could be good news for some people if they really, really want to play that game.
I suppose, but I think we're at the point now where a PSP game is not a Vita game, and we kind of have to start accepting that and maybe move to the future a little. So I was a little disappointed because personally, a big part of motivation for me completing a game is trophies, and if the game doesn't have trophies, I'm probably not going to complete it. So that's just me. It's kind of like a personal motivation thing because I have so many games on the go. So yeah, it kind of takes away from my experience, and it kind of makes me not want to play that game. So I'll probably be avoiding it, and they've kind of not ticked me off, but I'm a little disappointed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little weird, but whatever. Can't really do much about it other than speak with your money. If you're getting upset with PlayStation Plus, you can always drop it. Of course, that ruins your multiplayer experience for PS4, though, but not really much else you can do.
Yeah, I mean, it really does feel like at some point this year, standards for the instant game collection across all PlayStation consoles just kind of dropped. There was a point that I think it was about this time last year where on PS4 we got Injustice, sorry, and then we got Infamous First Light as well. Now I would consider those as two AAA games, and from there it just went back to indie titles, and I've seen it on Twitter and I've seen it in forums. People aren't happy with the amount of indie games that we're getting, and people aren't happy about the amount of old games we're getting. Especially with PS3, it was a point where there was a gap between like the game would come out and a year later it would be on Plus. And now we're getting games that were released back in 2009 and 2010. People they're giving up on the service, and it's really going to show.
Right.
Especially when it comes to giving us PSP games on Vita. That's where I feel they've overstepped the line. It's like giving us PS2 classics on PS3. They just wouldn't do that.
Yeah. Yeah, well, hopefully it's just that the games that they were trying to get, they couldn't get through it, so they just had to do like a last minute, like, hey, we have to get something here or people are going to be more mad. Like, I mean, what if they just didn't do anything?
Yeah.
So hopefully next month we'll get something better and everything will be all right.
Yeah. I mean, again, they gave us Invisimals, which is a PSP title. There is some Invisimals games for the Vita. Why couldn't they give us one of the Vita games rather than the PSP version?
Right. Yeah. Oh,
just feels cheap.
Yeah. I think you kind of talked about that a bit. The next topic was PlayStation Plus in general. I don't know if you wanted to go on in more with that, Kyle.
Well, I just kind of wanted to see your guys' opinion on like what you kind of get out of PlayStation Plus and whether you think it's worth it for you. So I know a lot of people complain, especially recently, PlayStation Plus is crap, and I'm not paying, the money for that, even though most people get it with deals and stuff. So
right.
I don't know. I just wanted to hear what you guys think.
Yeah. Well, for me, I really do enjoy the free games that I get every month, because then I can, if I don't have it, it's a free game, and right now it's paying off because I'm going to get Dragonfin Soup, and that's a game I was going to buy regardless, and now I'm going to get it for free, so I'm all about that. But there has been a past couple months where there's literally been nothing I've wanted, and it's like, whatever. But also having a PS4, which I don't really play that much, if I do want to play an online game, I don't have to be like, do I have the subscription? I mean, I've already got the year thing going, so it's like, all right, I can just play. Cool. So for me, it's kind of 50-50 right now. It's doing what it needs to do, but I wish it would do a little more.
Yeah, and again, like I said earlier with the instant game collection for myself, it's to the point now where the standards are slipping to near enough unacceptable levels. I mean, they offered these services and they said, oh yeah, we're going to keep it fresh. We're going to keep games that have a Metacritic score of at least 70, I believe it was. And then the standards just kept slipping and slipping, and we've seen some really awful stuff come to PlayStation Vita, some stuff where I've just considered garbage, and the consensus agrees. So I'd like to think that in the long run that they may improve the service. I mean, I'm not going to stop supporting it because obviously I like the idea of online multiplayer on my PlayStation 4. So I'll be keeping it for that reason. But as far as the instant game collection goes, it really needs to improve.
Yeah. I mean, when they first rolled out PlayStation Plus on the Vita, they had Uncharted, Gravity Rush, and something else I can't think of. But
Wipeout.
That's what it was. Yeah, they had 3 really good games to jump on, which was really smart. And it probably got a lot of people on the Vita train. So, I mean, they could do some work on it, but yeah. What do you think, Kyle?
Yeah, I completely agree. The big thing about Plus for me is it used to be where kind of, I have all the systems. So dealing with all the systems, I'd have at least 1 or 2 games that I would like a month. It's got to the point where I'm kind of tagging maybe 1 or 2 things a month, and that's stuff that, if I'm bored, maybe down the line I'll play kind of stuff. Or if I really have to for some other, demonstration reason need to play these games. Because really, there hasn't been too much lately where I'm like, okay, I need to have this, and thank you for giving it to me, kind of thing, when they reveal these plus titles. So it seems like, whereas before there was, at least something every month for one of my systems or more, now I'm like, meh, don't even care. Like this month, I don't even plan on tagging any titles. Dragonfin Soup is not my bag, so it's not that it's a bad game. It's just it's not really something that I would invest time into. And then the rest of them, including the PS3 and PS4 games, I either have already played or just simply don't care about. So I think, especially now that they're taking kind of they're polling people and saying, like, what do you think of these PlayStation Plus games and stuff, instead of just throwing them at us like they used to. We should have something better, but it doesn't seem like we're getting that. So pretty much for me, the only reason to have PlayStation Plus is so I have All Night on my PS4, because stuff like the Bloodborne expansion coming up is definitely going to, make me play online, and Drive Club and other things. And then the deals every week. So like we don't always even get good deals, weekly. But when they come, or when we have a flash sale that has some awesome stuff that's cheap, I like to have that, deal available. So it's definitely worth it just for that. But I think we should be getting something more, since we, did in the past, and now they're kind of tapering off, I guess, since they've got us all hooked.
Right. Well, I think like I said earlier, it's just, you gotta choose with your wallet whether or not it's a good investment, because if you start to see a trend, then maybe it's time to just stop getting that subscription updated or paying for it. And then if you start to see something, like if it switches around and you're like, oh, okay, this is something I need, then re-up it or something like that. But I definitely am noticing a I'm messing up my words right now. It's definitely taking a turn for the worst, it seems. So hopefully they'll turn it around. Maybe it's just a lull right now that we'll start to see something better soon. So yeah, there you go. PlayStation Plus in general. It's very interesting. So Kyle, we've got little known facts about the Vita.
Right. So this time, among little known facts about the Vita, because I'm not necessarily sure you guys know any, no offense, I figured we'd also throw in some little known games that people might have missed. So I thought, if you can think of anything that's kind of a hidden gem, I guess we'll say, then I kind of want to inform people about them, because there's a lot of stuff on the Vita that, if people didn't know about it with regards to games and other things, it would kind of hamper their experience a bit, and it's not necessarily written or readily available anywhere. So do you guys got any kind of games and things that you think are hidden gems?
Games? So you're not talking about like things that the Vita does?
Well, if you know any. Do you know any?
Well, I mean, I just recently discovered the ability to change the background theme of, like, when you have like set themes, like let's say you have the Freedom Wars theme on or the Danganronpa theme on, you can actually change the order in which the preset wallpapers show up, which I had no idea you could do, and I always complained, and I was like, why can't I change this? I wish you could do that. And then I discovered, like, on my own how to do it, and I was like, oh, you can do it. Awesome. And to do that, if you don't know, when you set up a theme, you just pick your theme just how you normally would in the settings, and then when you go to your home screen, just long press the touch screen until it goes into edit mode, and then you're going to click on the image thing to where you can change the background of that image. You're then going to see a checkmark image of your theme that you have. You'll click on that, and then it will load all of the images that are preset for that theme, and you can select the image you want on that page. So you can actually organize which pictures are showing up. So I thought that was pretty awesome that you could actually do it. Of course, they didn't ever explain that could be done or show anyone that could be done, so I'm sure there's a ton of people out there that had no idea, just like myself. So, yeah. Anyways, what about you, Liam?
It was one that I told one of our team members today, Zach. He was checking something for a news story for me, and basically he had to re-download the game because he wasn't sure whether the particular game had the thing that we needed for the news story. So basically, what I told him to do was, if you want to check the patch notes for a particular game, if you press triangle on the game, and then you press triangle again to where the menu is where you can create folders. You can also now check the update history on that, and you can check all the patch notes and all the improvements from previous updates. He was unaware of that at the time, and that's something that I thought, oh yeah, well, I might as well tell him that, and it should be shared with you guys just in case that's ever your kind of thing, whether you like checking what's happened when you've updated the game but didn't quite catch the patch notes.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's some good info, I think, for sure. I definitely use that to grab patch notes sometimes when we're doing posts about, new stuff that's come out. So, yeah, definitely useful. Some other useful things. I got a couple here, so I'm just going to rattle them off fairly quickly. First one is the biggest one that I tell everybody. If you turn off use Wi-Fi in power save mode in the power save settings on your Vita, it'll net you a much better Wi-Fi connection. Basically what that means is putting it in power save mode uses less power to that chip, which means less throughput, upload, download, and slower speeds and shittier connection. So if you want a really good connection, as far as what the Vita can handle anyway, that's the way to do it. So you disable use Wi-Fi in power save mode. Another good one is if you want to mute the Vita really quick. So if you're playing a game, you got to mute to talk to somebody. You can hold the volume rockers, both of them, the plus and minus, at the same time for like 1 second, and that will also mute your Vita. And then if you want to come out of mute, you just turn it up or down and it'll kick out. So that's a useful one as well. If you don't know, pressing the PlayStation button and start at the same time will take a screenshot in most PlayStation Vita games. And in the UI, there's a different method for some PlayStation 1 and PlayStation Portable games that support it, but not all do, so it kind of hit and miss there. And some Vita games actually don't support it as well, so kind of have to go through that. And last one I'll read for now. Did you know that if you turn down things like brightness, volume, if you turn off Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, your video will last longer? A lot of actual games do that. They disable network features or limit your brightness to try and get more time out of the game. So there you go. Sam, real quick, is asking, how do you screenshot PS1 classics in the chat there? How you do that is actually you hold the PlayStation button in-game, and it should come up the same menu that you go to for emulation settings. There should be a option there for screenshot. And then I believe you just use that to get what's the underlying image on the screen. So it's not perfect. It's not the same as screenshotting regularly, but some games, very, very, very few, allow it. I think an example off the top of my head is Tomba 2, but don't quote me on that. So yeah, there's some interesting Vita stuff that you guys might be interested in or help you out. And yeah.
Sweet. Some top tips.
All right, so moving to our last big talking point here. Little known facts about the Vita Lounge. Now, this isn't necessarily the Vita Lounge. This might be little known facts about Tyler or Liam as well. So if you've got something maybe that you want to share or something about, your time at the Vita Lounge, I thought this would be a good place to kind of throw that in.
Well, the Vita Lounge used to be a porn website until we bought it in 2009.
Wow.
I'm just kidding.
No.
I'm just kidding.
Really? Wow.
I had you guys fooled, though. I should be an actor. I'm not going to go first. Kyle, I think you should go first. You've been there the longest. I feel like you know something pretty crazy.
Okay, this is something people might not know, but I think at least Tyler should know this. The Vita Lounge once had a wiki. So
I do remember.
We actually once attempted to build our own Vita wiki with information on all the games. We got quite up there. I think we were nearing or past 100 pages, and we actually had a huge bit of mischief, I guess we'll say, and some issues with our server, and we ended up losing the ability to kind of connect to what we had there for our wiki. So it kind of ended up screwing us over, and we lost it, and we never kind of went back. But the Vita Lounge once had a wiki.
Interesting.
So, yeah, there you go.
Janderman just asked if we're all wearing pants right now. No, I'm not. It's because I'm wearing shorts, guys. Jeez. Get your minds out of the gutter.
Thank God. Thank
you
the Lord.
freaks.
I am definitely wearing pants. I'm actually thinking about putting on another pair of pants over these pants because Tyler's wearing shorts. But yeah.
Oh.
What about you, Liam?
I'm absolutely certainly wearing pants.
Ah, man.
Good. I wouldn't want to have to do to you what I almost did to Tyler, and that's staple his pants to his body.
God, I can imagine that being pretty brutal.
That would be painful.
Yeah, but then you would know for all time that his pants were on.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, more little known facts about the Vita Lounge. I'm trying to think of something. I know. Okay, this is podcast related. When we were trying to figure out the podcast, we talked about having a podcast for so long. I remember joining in, and pretty early on and joining in on the team. We had mentioned starting a podcast, and it took a long time to get things going. So I think it probably was over 3 months of somewhat talking about it and still unsure of whether or not we could pull it off and do it. And 100 episodes later, here we are. I think we could do it. So, yeah, I think that was interesting because there's a lot of, like, we have a, like a private area in the forum where only the editors can talk to each other, and I mean that's just something that we've talked about for quite a long time, and it's very interesting to go back and just see some old stuff that we've talked about. So yeah. Liam,
I
you got
totally
anything?
agree with that. I think that's a very excellent point. Very excellent.
Liam, you got anything? I mean, it doesn't have to be about the Vita Lounge.
It's Vita Lounge related. So, we've had over 50 people write for the site so far. And as of this week, we actually hit 5,000 posts on the site. Something which is quite an achievement for the Vita, I would think. You can read the whole post on celebrating 5,000 posts, which Paul wrote. But yeah, I think that's an incredible accomplishment for the team in general, because we are a small team, and we all have day jobs as well, and to be able to sit back and be able to do this as a hobby, I think it's an amazing thing. We're not nailed down as such to have to do what we do. We could just not, but we do that. We just love the platform. We love the Vita, and it really is an amazing thing. And the Vita Lounges itself, I mean, I'm coming up to being a year of being a part of the team for a year now, and it really is one of the best things I've ever done. Join the Vita Lounge. It's just a fantastic place to be in. The community and everybody is fantastic.
Yeah, thank you guys for all the support.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you guys.
And everyone that can't make it.
Yeah, definitely. Something kind of going off what Liam said there. Another thing that I guess he mentioned it briefly, but I kind of wanted to expand on it. A lot of people don't know is the Vita Lounge is a fan site. We're not like IGN or something where we're like, paid writers or even, seasoned veterans here. We're just a bunch of guys who love Vita, and we've, taken the Vita Lounge from a single person blog to something with 5,000 posts that sees millions of viewers a year. So, it's something that we're definitely proud of, and it's taken a lot of work, especially since, this isn't our full-time job or anything.
Right. It's fun to see it grow from when I started to now, and it feels good to just be a part of it. So yeah, there you go. There's some interesting facts about us and the Vita Lounge and whatnot. So I think that's pretty much it for all the talking points. Are you guys wanting to go into the thing that we've missed so much, Kyle?
Absolutely. I think that sounds like a plan.
I'm gonna click the button, and people are gonna
Click.
see it on the screen on the stream.
No cheating, Liam.
Oh, I'm ready for this. I am ready for this.
It is time for Guess That Game. Oh, it's been so long. I've been waiting for this. It feels so good. Oh man. So, I'm gonna make it really fair for everyone in the chat. I'm gonna actually copy and paste the description of the game, so you guys in the chat can read it. I'm gonna read it out loud the second I post it in the chat, and then Kyle and Liam are gonna have to guess that game. First person to
Okay.
What?
Hold on. Before
Go
we
ahead.
even start here, I just want to clarify. Since I'm looking at the chat, because obviously we're paying attention to our listeners, right?
Right.
Does that mean that as soon as it's posted, I can answer, or does that mean I have to wait for you to read it before I can answer?
So I'm gonna post it and then I'm gonna start reading, start reading it. If you know the answer, just blurt it out.
All right.
Because
all right.
Liam, you're in the chat too, right?
Yep, I am.
So you guys both have equal abilities to read, obviously. So, anyways, good luck to both of you. I think it's 6-3, right?
I believe so.
Yes.
All right, so Kyle's winning 6-3. Let's get into Guess That Game. The first game is gonna get posted in just a second. You guys in the chat, feel free to blurt out what you think it is, and may the best man win. All right. I am needing to open up the right things here. There we go. All right. Incoming right now. This is a third-person shooter in which players join a military force tasked with defending Earth from an invasion of...
Force.
It's... Yes, I'll give it to you. Yep. All right. There
Full
you
names
go.
From now on. Full names from now on.
All right. Well, he did say 2 later, which it is. The game is Earth Defense Force 2: Invaders from Planet Space. Liam's got a point here. All right. Next game decides the winner or ties it up. So, you guys ready?
Yes, sir.
I'm in the wrong chat window. I was about to post it in Skype. That'd have been awkward. All right. Here we go. Game number 2. I'm posting it right now. This is a rhythm game in which players follow a group of students
Super
through...
Beat Sonic.
No, a mystery involving...
That's gone out.
Yep, Liam got it.
Oh.
Look at that. Liam destroyed you.
It didn't even post either. But yeah, Liam destroyed me. Thumbs up for Liam. It's my birthday though, so you didn't take away one point from him, right?
Yeah. Here we go. This is just for fun. This is the third game. Let's do it. So you guys ready?
Yes, sir.
All right. I'm posting this one right now. This is an action role-playing game in which players assume the role of a warrior, completing quests and clearing new areas in a fantasy world. Players use ranged weapons, melee weapons, sword, hammers, and magic attacks to kill fantasy creatures, slimes, demons, ghouls, dragons. Battles are highlighted by cries of pain and impact sounds. Cutscenes also depict acts of violence, hand-to-hand combat with swords, a character impaled by a sword during a duel. Female characters are often depicted wearing low-cut tops or swimsuits that reveal large amounts of cleavage. Certain movements can also cause their breasts to bounce... What?
Is it the Legend of Heroes Trials of Cold Sail?
No. Their breasts to bounce and jiggle. Characters sometimes discuss the size of their breasts in the dialogue. For example, she's just worried about her flat chest. That's all. And people are more than just their chest size. The words ass and bastard appear in dialogue.
What? I have no idea.
What's the chat saying?
They're saying Dungeon Hunter, Dungeon Quest.
Nope. None of you guys are right.
It sounds like what's that one? Dungeon Travelers 2.
Nope.
Royal Library and the Monster Seal.
Nope.
No?
I'll give you a hint. It's a very popular anime.
It's a very popular anime. It's not Sword Art
Sword Art
Online
Online
Whole
Lost
Fragment, right?
It's not
Lost
Hollow
Song.
Fragment.
Lost Song.
It is Lost Song. Alex Mutz got it in the chat.
That's crazy.
Yep.
That was a horrible description. You can't, like, it's hard to get Sword Art Online from that.
Yeah. I probably should have put that one at the beginning or something. Made you guys struggle.
That really should have been the first one, because that one was kind of crazy.
That was very, very difficult.
Yeah. Well,
I figured, to be honest, I figured that would have been rated so long ago that you wouldn't even have pulled that up.
no, it just got rated recently, actually. It's kind of interesting going to that site, though, to see everything that's been rated. But anyways, there you go. Liam takes this one for episode 100.
Woo.
Congratulations, Liam.
Thank you very much.
Well, all right. What else do we got here, Kyle?
I think that's pretty much it there, Tyler.
Did we want to go to like just random questions from our listeners?
Well, if the random listeners have any random questions, then sure.
All right, let's do that then. I'm gonna type it in. Got any questions for us?
Liam catches up. Liam doesn't catch up. Janderman in the chat says Liam catches up. He's still got 2 down.
Yeah.
I could not even show up to the next one and still be winning.
Ooh.
Whatever that may be.
Yes,
Well,
very much so. But you're gonna have to tell work that we need you, Liam.
Yeah.
that's how. Yeah, do it or
It's
else.
important.
This is way more.
We're like the president. Tell them that the president needs you, Liam.
Or just say what Kyle says for me to say, and say that you have Vita-itis and you can't make it in.
Oh. All right. So Extema says, pick your waifu. Who's your waifu, guys?
Oh man, Rise from Persona 4 Golden.
Not bad. Not bad.
She's my girl.
What about you, Liam?
Asuna from Sword Art Online.
Nice.
I like a girl with a bit of attitude and a bit of anger and a bit of bossiness about her, you know? She
I
can
see
tell
that. I like girls who have sort of a hard side and a soft side. So I'm gonna go with Sinan from Sword Art Online.
Ah, that's a good one. That's a
There you
really
go.
good one.
Plus
I'd
the
have to-
outfit doesn't hurt either.
No, it
Wink,
doesn't.
wink.
Gmaster1 in the chat says Liam's waifu is Kyle. Wow.
Liam wishes his waifu was me.
Yeah. Well, GMass01 says, first game purchased on the Vita. That's a really good question. Kyle?
All right, so I believe actually purchasing the game was Hot Shots Golf, although my Vita came with Call of Duty Black Ops Declassified, so whichever you think is the right answer.
Okay. I think Hot Shots would be the one.
There you go.
What about you, Liam? First game?
For me, I got my Vita on launch day and I bought it with Uncharted Golden Abyss and Wipeout.
Nice. So I also got my Vita on launch day, and I got 3 games. I got the game that came with it because it was the special edition launch, like early edition or whatever. You got it a week early, so it came with Little Deviants. But I purchased, that game. I purchased with it FIFA Soccer and Mod Nation Racers, and was in love with FIFA so much. And Mod Nation Racers was fun, but they could have done better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me read here. Zapparoth132 says Unit 13 was his first game. That's a really good game.
It is a good game.
And
I
GMass,
still haven't played that.
you still haven't?
I have it physical sitting on my shelf right now, and I still haven't played it.
Oh man, it's a fun game. If you ever want to, like a partner or something, just let me know.
Well, that's a good idea for video, Tyler.
Yeah, it is. GMass says that his was Uncharted, so yeah, good game. It took me a while to finally get Uncharted, but when I got it, I was like, man, glad I got it for free on Plus.
Me too.
So yeah, we've also got a question here from Alex Mutz, and he says, what type of games you guys miss on the Vita? And he says, mine SimCity-like. Or my SimCity, I don't know. Anyways. Kyle?
All right, so games I miss on the Vita. Sports. I've said this a lot in the past podcast, but a lot of like more legitimate simulation type sports games. So like skate, NHL, NBA, all those kind of games. That's what I miss because it seems like even though they're kind of some of my favorites, especially something like skate, I don't play them anywhere near as much as I'd like to, just because it's a hassle to go down where my PS3 is, which is like my media server for my living room, and play, because that's not really where I play. So
Yeah.
yeah, that.
Nice. What about you, Liam?
For me, I would just say more like Tony Hawk's games. I would like to see a proper Tony Hawk's game come to PS Vita. Sorry, I mean we've had Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5 this year on PS4, and let's face it, it's garbage. But I'd like to see a proper Tony Hawk's experience on PSP. I mean on PS Vita, we got one on PSP, so let's have one on Vita. It could be anything. It could be a Pro Skater. It could be something more open world like the Underground series. Just give me a Tony Hawk's game. Or skate, either will do.
Very nice. Yeah, those both would be so awesome, what you guys are both saying. For me, I love Killzone Mercenary, but I would really like another first-person multiplayer shooter to just hit the Vita, hit it hard. Like, hey, here I am, play me. I love me some first-person shooters, especially multiplayer ones. I'm pretty good at Killzone, so it's something that I would really like more variety to.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, good night, GMass01. Thanks for joining in this episode 100. Hopefully we'll see you again on episode 200. Well, all right. We got another one here from Janderman1978, and he says, "Why is the Vita Lounge such a nice and friendly place to visit?" It's because we have
I know
candy.
exactly why.
Why?
No, it's not because we have candy.
Oh.
It's because we limit the amount of talking that Liam can do.
Ah! That makes sense.
That's definitely why.
I feel bad right now.
You should. You should feel burnt.
Put some moisturizer on it. You'll be fine. You'll be fine.
I've got some aloe. You want some?
There you go.
Well, all right.
No, he doesn't want to answer because I've burned him. So
Yeah, he's just like, can I talk now? I don't know. If what?
I'm very upset now about that.
Ah. Where?
It's my birthday, Liam. I can be mean if I want to.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's your present to me.
Fair enough.
It's cheap, so there you
go. So we've got another one here from Votcampif1. I'm sorry if I said your name wrong. I'm not you. If you listen to this episode or podcast, you know I'm not very good with names. Anyways, he asks, which of you three have actually been to Japan? I haven't.
Nope.
Yeah, none of us have been to Japan.
Are you planning on taking us? Because I'm sure all three of us would love to go.
Yes. Take us.
You're like a CEO, right? Of some major $1 million company that you can just do that, right? Right?
I think he left. Anywho. Moving on.
We missed a question. What's the last game we purchased? So that kind of goes off of the first game we purchased. So what's the last game we actually picked up?
Demon Gaze, because it was £6 on the PlayStation Store. I thought at that price I've heard decent things about from Adrian, so I'll go for that.
Nice. What about you, Kyle?
I don't know. I'm going to look. 1 second.
Oh, man.
I don't know what the last game is I purchased, so gotta give me a second.
Well, I already know mine. Mine is WRC 5. And what a mistake that was.
Oh dear.
Yeah. We won't talk about that. Anyways, Kyle's about to be ready. I can feel it. Tell us a joke, Liam.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
Kyle.
Kyle who?
Kyle's got an answer for us any second.
That was terrible. Get out.
That's it. You're fired.
I'm not one to think on the spot, man.
Well, we'll have to talk about that later then.
All right. So I know what I bought last, and it was a while ago, unfortunately.
Uh-oh.
And I still haven't played it. So that just shows you how the backlog is. So I think last time it was on sale, I bought Flame Over. Tyler, I believe, played it live stream, and I was on the live stream with you, right?
Yes,
Tyler?
sir.
And while I watched him play, I kind of got the itch to play. And then I never got around to it because every time I had money, there was other things on sale. But then they put it on sale, and I was like, hell yes. So Flame Over. And I hope to be getting to it soon. Hope.
Awesome.
Maybe. Possibly.
Hopefully soon.
So yeah, that's the last thing I bought.
All right. Well, we also missed a question about what PSP game we'd like to see on Plus. So kind of going off of how salty we were about a game being on Plus that was a PSP game, now we want to answer what we would like to see a PSP game. And for me, personally, I don't really have any because I've already got all the PSP games I want. So right now, I don't really have one in mind. What about you, Liam?
For me, it's just a PSP game that should be on the PlayStation Store anyway, and for me that would be Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII, possibly the best Final Fantasy game ever. And I know that's going to upset a few people, but Crisis Core was absolutely amazing.
Yeah. Well, all right. What about you, Kyle? I feel like you're going to say nothing.
Yeah, I think I am going to say nothing, to be honest with you.
Well,
the only thing that I really want is SSX on tour. And at this point, I'm so salty from not having it, I kind of almost don't want it. So, I don't know. Maybe they can entice me into, buying it if they bring it out. But otherwise, no.
Yeah. Well, we've got a couple more questions here. You guys are doing a very good job. Thank you for all these questions. So I don't know if we can answer this. I don't actually know the answer. This would be something that Kyle or Paul would be able to answer, I believe, and it's top 5 countries that visit the Vita Lounge.
All right. This is a rough guess based on what I've seen in the past, because I don't think I've looked recently, and it's kind of a pain to kind of look where I have to look. But anyway, rough guess from the past: U.S., U.K., Canada, France, and some, Netherlands area countries. So we've had, Netherlands, Germany. I think actually we've had Spain, which isn't that area. A couple other things, get up to the top of the list. So one of those somewhere in there as well. So yeah.
Interesting. Well, all right. We've got a question here from ZoSam32, and they ask, what are your hopes for the next 100 Vita Cast episodes? Kyle?
All right. So, all right. In the next 100 episodes, I hope to have more guest stars. Maybe now that we've kind of moved times, that might be a little bit more complimentary to people joining us. So hopefully we can work on that. I'd like to see, what else would I like to see? Lots more good stuff to talk about. I think the biggest thing about any of our Vita casts is, something interesting to kind of to breed discussion. So not, too often do we have something big, but at least something tangible every week that we can, hook on to as something cool to talk about, I think would be nice. So hopefully we just get a steady stream of good, stuff that we can talk about, I guess.
Right. Yeah, I think one thing that you mentioned was the, getting guests on here and stuff like that. Like early episodes that we've done, we had some really awesome, interviews with people, and I would love to continue doing that. And now that I've gotten a new schedule, like you were saying, it will be a lot easier to be able to get people on, hopefully. So that's definitely something that I want to look forward to getting more people of. So, yeah, I think that's pretty good. What about you, Liam? You need to be on here more. That's something.
Yes, that's my first thing. and for Sony to have not just outright be done with the Vita in the next 100 episodes, so we can actually be around in the next 100 episodes for 100 more episodes. But yeah, I'd like to see more guests and more interviews. I think that's a great way to expand our audience and to get more people listening. To just go outright approach people and say, do you want to do a podcast with us and talk about the Vita and games that you've got coming to the Vita? It'd help them promote their games, and it would, help us grow, and it'd be just beneficial to everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, it would. We got another question here from Jozo70. They say, do any of you think we will see a localization of God Eater and Phantasy Star?
All right, so for Phantasy Star, I'm going to say no. For God Eater, I'm going to say yes, but it's going to be a little while. And of course, this is guesses. I don't know any, backdoor information or something like that. It's just kind of based on what I think is going to happen. And I think the reason that we haven't seen God Eater so far is because they're waiting to have a proper introduction to the story to be able to kind of give to Western audiences, because God's Eater Burst wasn't kind of a big deal over here. So I think bringing God Eater Resurrection and then, maybe God Eater 2 Rage Burst over would probably be the smarter way to do it. And I think that's kind of, if somebody's going to do it, that's the way they're going to do it. So yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you. I think God Eater definitely has the bigger chance and is most likely. So yeah, what about you, Liam?
Yeah, I would say God Eater as well. I don't think we'll see Phantasy Star. And I know I mentioned it earlier on in the games that I'd like to see come over from Japan, but I really don't think it's going to. But is God Eater Resurrection out in Japan yet? Just a thought.
It just released on the 29th.
Okay, so I think give it a couple of weeks, maybe going into early next year. We should have an announcement by then that it's coming west, I would say. Maybe at the earliest, mid-January, we would know for certain.
Yeah.
Like, let's say, yeah, we've got teams localizing it, and it's going to come out later in 2016.
Well, all right. Fingers crossed, guys.
Fingers crossed. I know there's a few people on the team, one in particular, who's just sat at home waiting for that message.
Yeah. All right. We got one more question here, and it is, are we ever doing Vita Games Nights again? So he's referring to our Lounge Play series that we were doing a while back, where we played games, I believe, every Saturday. I would hope so, because, it's been a long time, and we've talked about it quite a lot, of wanting to get back into it, and sadly, I've been super busy, so I haven't had the chance to, but considering now that Kyle has his capture thing, he could always do some capture stuff too, so we could actually get 2 points of views in these Lounge Plays, which would be pretty awesome. So, yeah, we'd love to get back on it, and hopefully maybe this Extra Life live stream we do will get our urge back to making sure we can do that with you guys, because it's a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Definitely. I think the biggest kind of hurdle for getting back there was time, and then the fact that I couldn't record. And now the only thing really stopping me from having already done it is the fact that I don't have a proper headphone setup for my PlayStation TV, which is my recording device is hooked up to that. So if I was to record, I need some sort of Bluetooth headset to be able to talk to you guys and stuff like that when we party up. So that's kind of my hurdle.
Okay.
Or else I'd already be doing it.
Right.
But yeah, like if we could still do it, it would just be right now, it would be Tyler recording and me, not.
Right. I gotcha. Well, hopefully we can start doing that for you guys. But yeah, we got one more question, and then I think we're going to dip on out of here. We've been recording for nearly 2 hours. This is a great episode.
Indeed.
So the final question here is, do you guys think Sony will shout out any Vita games during PSX in December? This is from Alex Mutz.
Yes.
Ooh.
They were quiet at Paris Games Week. In fact, the word Vita wasn't mentioned once. But even if it's just a few indie titles, I genuinely think that there will be a few announcements at least for the Vita. With Paris Games Week, it was all about Sony taking their big gun to the stage, which is the PS4. I think they need to have some Vita announcements there to make a whole hour-and-a-half press conference. So I would definitely say we will see something Vita related there.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna kind of disagree somewhat with Liam here. I don't think Paris Games Week was really anything of an announcement or, look at this kind of press conference. It was mostly trailers and stuff that we already knew about. So, actually looking at it as, that was the PS4 bit, I don't think that's necessarily what happened. And I think even though you're thinking maybe they might need Vita to fill in that hour and a half, they don't. Do I think that we're going to get some Vita mentions? Yes. Do I think that they're going to be, big, significant things? No. Do I think that even the mentions are going to be significant? No. I think they're probably going to be offhand. I think we're at the point now where, Sony has said so many times that they aren't supporting the Vita. And even if they are, we can't really expect anything from them. Even though, the Vita is a Sony device. Really right now, as far as software content anyway, it's being driven by a whole nother, ball game, kind of. The collection of all these people who are doing localizations, indies, third-party titles that have nothing to do with Sony, etc. So really, I don't see a lot happening other than maybe a couple of mentions. I don't see, them doing anything sort of noteworthy. Other than a few little things to write down, maybe, and some dates. So, yeah, I'm not hopeful. We all know from the Vita's past that Vita stuff gets announced daily and not really at these events, maybe one or two here and there. And really, we're at the point now where I don't even expect it. So that's just me.
I mean, if anything, I think the biggest announcement for the Vita at PSX would probably be XCOM. I mean, we've got Civilizations is a real thing now, and we were made aware of that this week. So I think they might be saving XCOM for PSX. And I think it might be one of those, and it's available now, announcements as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, if anything, we're going to get maybe like a sizzle reel type of thing showing what's coming. Get people excited, maybe throw in some little secret thumbnails of games we actually didn't know about. So yeah, I feel like we'll get something. So I'll be there. I'll let you guys know. I'll be tweeting it out. I'll be talking about it. So yeah. Well, there we go. That's episode 100, guys.
I can't believe it, Tyler.
You sound...
I can't believe it's over.
it's crazy. It's so awesome, and at the same time crazy and scary and weird, and can't wait to do it again.
Yeah, it's been great to be able to be here and celebrate this with you guys, because I know you guys have worked so hard to get to this point, and again, it's just fantastic that we've made it this far, and there's still plenty of life in us left.
Yeah, and we still got to do more of those Guess That games so we can figure out who's going to win.
Yeah.
Come on, Liam.
Come on, Liam. Yeah,
I'm trying. I really am.
Maybe we should just find a time that we can record that segment so we can just include it into the episodes.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're going to get out of here, guys. Thank you so much for joining in on the chat here. You guys stuck it around for 2 hours. Thank you guys so much. Listen to us old weirdos. We're not really that old, but us weirdos talking about the Vita for 2 hours. It's crazy. Anyways, you guys ready to go?
Yeah, I think it's ready to go.
Oh man, you need some sleep. Little old Liam. Cuckoo caca. Anyways, let's get out of here.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, if you've got listener mail or comments, contact us via mediaservices@thevitalounge.net. You can find everything we talked about kinda. We didn't really talk about the news, but there's lots of stuff to look up on there on the VitaLounge.net. We've got the news, the reviews, featured articles, store updates, the podcast, a community forum, and a magazine, both digital and physical. You can support the site and get physical copies of the magazine via patreon.com/theVitaLounge. You can also follow all of us on Twitter and Facebook. The Vita Lounge is at The Vita Lounge. I'm at Mr. PS Vita Reviews. Kyle is at Teflon Tactics. And Liam is at Liam Hangover. You can also search The Vita Lounge on Facebook and give us a like over there. And also, we are on YouTube, youtube.com/loungeplay. Kyle is posting tons of videos up. It's pretty crazy. He's going crazy, and we've got something after this, by the way. So stick around. Also, this podcast is available on iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher, YouTube, and via direct download on the site. So there you go. That's episode 100. Like I teased a second ago, we've got a special little video here for you guys. So, woo! Kyle, you want to talk about it real quick before I play it?
All right. So kicking in to the last thing before we go, this is the November preview video. If you're wondering what's coming out for Vita in November, here we go, because this will tell you.
Yeah. Now I got to change over. Here we go. Everything's flawless. Look at me go. Look at me go. All right. Quiet time.
Stop the music. It's time for something beat-tastic.